Alrighty, we're good to go.
There it is, the Wayno cough.
It's not a podcast without Wayno fucking black lung.
You know what? I'm glad
It's had a longer career than fucking Greg Oden.
I'm glad we didn't record the other night because I actually wasn't feeling well, and I was just.
When are you actually 100%?
I was waiting for you. I was just like, thank God we're not recording. I don't think Vince carry on about how I'm always sick.
Because you fucking are always sick.
Oh,
you just go around looking like fucking bins and shit.
Minisode.
Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes. Watch out! Here it comes.
Well, I mean, we've got some championship talk to chat about, don't we? We're talking championships, Summer League championships, guys. If you guys can claim it, I'm claiming it, goddammit. I've got a little space up in the ceiling there. I'm going to raise a little banner later tonight for the Summer League. Fantastic.
We'll give it to you. We'll give it to you. Christ, they almost lost it. They wanted to lose it.
We tried to give it away in true Grizzlies fashion, but we persevered.
You should enjoy it because you ain't winning anything else for a long time.
Hey, I'll take it. Let me have my moment, please. Hey, and we did it all without our number 2 pick. Not too bad.
Without both your last 2 first rounders.
Yeah. Which was cool. Like both those guys were there, throughout the Summer League as well. So they were there supporting the team and, taking it all in. So that was good. Look, obviously, I've been hammering you guys, on the private chats about Brandon Clark. He was fantastic all Summer League and got the MVP.
Settle down, mate. It's Summer League.
Mate, I don't care. I told you, let me have my moment.
Hang on a minute.
He was very good. I'm surprised he slipped as low as he did. I'm sure he is too, but he was very good.
See, Benson, there's different rules, mate. If we were getting excited about Lonzo and all that in the Summer League. Mm-hmm. We're just typical Laker fans, calm down at Summer League. He gets all moist over Brandon Clark. Whenever he's, bowing down.
Come on.
It's all good. We're going to give it to him. I saw I saw it. I watched all of the Summer League. This team that was running up and down, they probably couldn't beat the 1997 Cairns Taipans. So
how dare you?
They're not doing any damage. But they were cute. They were fun to watch.
Thank you.
Enjoy it. Look, there's a championship DVD coming out. You probably get a replica ring. Enjoy it.
There's no rings. It's just a T-shirt, isn't it?
I'll enjoy it.
I'll buy a T-shirt.
Thanks, man.
I suppose just before we jump off the Grizz, I'll keep it pretty short on that topic, just because there's not much else to talk about. Like, you guys obviously watched a little bit Summer League.
No, it was the same thing.
Yeah, I watched a lot too, Stu. I know Summer League's not your thing, Vince, unless Lakers are winning and Lonzo's playing.
That's right.
So, hey, that's fair enough. But you probably did see the incident with Grayson.
Yes, I saw that.
I did.
So, look, the Grizzlies community is a bit funny at times, and they're both pretty torn about it. I'm literally, reading a lot of fans that are, basically, don't want him on the team. Don't want that around the young. Don't want him on the team. Don't, just get rid of him. He's going to be a problem. And, even I, admittedly, we touched on him and his tripping and all that stuff before he was even drafted in the Dukes. So
you like him now as a Grizzly, don't you?
Look, I'm just not. I don't know. I myself am a bit torn, because there is this prerequisite now when it comes to him. In saying that,
you love him.
In saying that, though, he had a good Summer League. Yeah, his shooting percentage could be a lot better, but defensively, he's quite good. He had a pretty incident-free, rookie season, and he was in and out of the G League. So, he capped off last year with a 40-point game. So, there's definitely talent there. I definitely think the kid has potential and should be playing NBA ball, which is, a big thing because him coming into that, I was like, he's not going to last. He's not going to last. And then, Vince, I remember us talking on a little bit after draft day and, his chemistry with Donovan Mitchell. And we're like, damn it, we kind of like this kid a bit now. I don't think we really wanted to, But then, this happens. And look, the one thing I think watching this is that kid has lots of potential, but I just feel like this is just a temper thing.
It's not even that. Like, Vince, you saw the incidents, but you haven't watched Summer League. But, I mean, he was very good for them. He was the rudder that steered the ship. He was obviously the second-year player. Out there, and it showed in nearly every single game he played. He shot poorly, I thought, for the Summer League, and particularly there are a couple of games there where he couldn't hit a layup. But I think those two incidents were nothing. The first one, the tangle up, was weak. It was nothing. And that hard baseline block that he got beaten, and then he got screened out, and he turned around and he made sure there was no layups. I have no problem with the no layup rule. That's how I play basketball. You're not going to get an and one with me. If I can help it, you're not getting an and one. And I play with a couple of dudes. It's just, that's our mentality. And if you hit the floor, if we hit you hard, that's just how we play. I didn't think there was anything in it. And the more you watch it on the replay, you got a shit ton of ball as well. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, that second one for me, like the first one, I thought fair enough. He gives a clear shove away, but it wasn't that didn't break out into a fight or anything like that. It was literally dude hit the floor, they called it. Cool. But that second one, I'm with you. The more I watched it, I'm like, I don't know if this is worth the ejection even. And
nah, not at all.
But then, I'm like, is this just because I'm a Grizz fan and, kind of high on this kid? Or I was like, I need to talk to the guys about this because it's,
No, the first one was way more contact. The second one, I know it happened in quick succession. And maybe it was just I don't want this game to escalate, I don't want it to get worse, sort of a foul, or maybe his reputation preceded him. Maybe the way that he did it and just walked off callously and didn't give a fuck. Maybe the refs thought that he was just showing contempt. But honestly, the more you watch it, it was just a hard, this ball is not going to go any higher than the net. And he just smacked it down. And the follow-through wasn't great, but he can't turn his arm invisible after he hits the ball. It has to go somewhere. Honestly, it was no way that it deserved an ejection.
Yeah, a couple of things for jump to Vince because it was a little bit funny. Look, the good thing was, that game we got blown out by Boston, and I think a lot of frustration from the Grizz squad. He bounces back. He started point guard for us that follow-up game, and we beat him, and no incident, just played hard. Cool. He responded well. But watching it and just reading all the online chatter about it, I had the little Vince up on my shoulder in each ear. Just going, I could just hear Vince saying, you got to give these guys a check. You can't give up on them so early.
You are notorious for just giving up.
You've cracked me, mate. You're in my head. Some thoughts, Vince. Some thoughts.
Look, Grayson Allen, I think he's going to have a solid career. A couple of things. I've said this before. When you see someone and you can just tell by their face they're knobs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Grayson Allen. And
you guys used to have a co-host. Anyway, keep going.
Secondly,
zing of all zings.
Secondly, I love Benson. Thirdly, he's going to do something to the wrong player.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who that player might be. It might be Cousins. It might be Derek Favors. It might be someone who's just going to wallop him one. And he needs his ass kicked. He really does. He just comes across to me as a knob. One of those spoiled rich kids. I think he grew up in a nice sort of wealthy family. A bit like Benson.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, a bit like Benson. It's got that Benson swagger. Except we don't want to punch Benson. We just want his money. That's all that's going to happen. He's going to mature a bit. He's going to get his
teeth
get punched.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly, he's going to get punched and he'll be sorted out.
I know the player.
Yeah, but stick with him. I think he's going to be really solid.
I like what I've seen, man. I didn't watch a lot of him last year because he was in and out of G League. But man, I listened to an interview with him before that incident. It was just this kid actually sounds like a pretty cool dude. Sounds like someone you'd probably hang out with, But
you need characters in the NBA like this. I mean, it's so.
I know the player.
It's so robotic right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I know the player that punches him though.
Who is it?
It's his teammate. Think of the long 82-game season. You can't tell me frustrations aren't going to fly during a practice, and Jay Crowder's not going to flatten him.
Oh, yeah, I reckon they'll have a practice duster. Money's on Crowder.
That's the guy.
My money's on Crowder. No, look, one of the commentators who was actually on that game, I can't remember who it was saying, like, you'd probably give him a bit of a pass if he was a hard-nosed, known defender. Like, if that was a Pat Beverley or a Tony Allen type, like, if he was a pit bull, you'd be like, yeah, that's just his nature. But he's not actually a super good defender. He's quite slow. He's not physical. I think he needs to find his little niche in the league. Like, he needs to find what he is. He's a tweener anyway.
Yeah.
So
100%.
he's gonna have to be that dirty work guy. Memphis will love him for it, right? But he needs to back it up because his little shoves and his little kicks, like, okay, just own it. Like be a gritty defender. I'm going to slap the floor. I'm going to Pat Beverley you. You're my guy. And, I'm going to eat you up for the next, 48 minutes for 92 feet. Like, just be that guy. And I think when you do those hard fouls, everyone's like, oh, that's Grayson Allen. Not that's grubby Grayson Allen from university.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just funny.
When he was named Grayson, you knew he was going to be a knob.
Yeah, that's a trust fund baby name, right?
Yeah, big time.
Oh, boy.
It's not like Wayne.
Hey.
Yeah, Wayne and your trust fund.
Yeah, I have no money, so that's even... I'm like the opposite of that.
Master Wayne.
I think your phone might be... Just might bring the... How far away is your phone from your face, Stu?
Pretty close.
Okay, it's just faded out a little bit on the end there. Sound the alarm, gentlemen.
Oh, no, you didn't even get us. No, that was nothing. That was terrible.
Well, no, go this time. We had to sound the alarm, though, because...
No, that was terrible.
The Russell Westbrook trade has gone through. Of course, OKC pulled the trigger on a deal with the Houston Rockets. A lot to cover, a lot to jump in with this, gentlemen. Let's jump into the OKC side first.
Well, the OKC Thunder, they got an old-ass Chris Paul. 2 first-round draft picks, which are in 2024 and 2026. Mm-hmm. And the right to 2 first-round pick swaps in 2021 and 2025 in exchange for Rusty Westbrook.
There's still only...
The other 45,000 picks.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's been a long time since, Durant, Harden, Westbrook in Oklahoma City. And a lot's changed with all 3 of those players' game. The reuniting of Westbrook and Harden, I mean, these are 2 completely different players in their own right. Both now, MVPs, both now playoff scarred, if you will. Can these guys coexist?
I'll let Benson go first. I've got some thoughts, but I'll let Benson go first.
I, funnily enough, have no problem with it. I think that they will. I get the jokes. There's only one ball, and, they're both, high-usage guys who love to shoot. But I really think it's going to work. I think the D'Antoni offense is perfect for them both. I don't know. I just sort of harken back to those old run-and-gun Suns teams that D'Antoni had, and I don't know, there was always enough ball. There were high-scoring, high-octane games, and Houston have played that for a long time. I mean, you got to remember, Russ does like to crash the boards, and he does like to rack up assists. This is a guy who can get you 10 with his eyes closed. They're going to have to work it out, but you're better with him than without him. They're a better team on paper than they were last year, and they're a shit ton better without Chris Paul, I think, given the game and the pace that they want to run. That's not to say that I don't think Chris Paul's done by any stretch of the imagination. He's still a solid point guard. He's going to the Hall of Fame. I still think he's a very good product, and OKC hopefully will move him at the end of next season and do well for it. But shit, to think that Houston went backwards in this is crazy. I think they're going to be really good.
I've got a few thoughts on it. I think the thing we've got to remember, this isn't the James Harden from 2012. This is now James Harden, who's won an MVP, is one of the best players in the world, and now has a massive ego. It has, in saying that, it has got a chance to work because they are such good friends. But if Westbrook thinks he's going to come in and run the show and be the man, I think James Harden's going to have something to say about that. He will not be turning over, giving him the full run of the team. It's still James Harden's team. can Westbrook, is he willing to change his role a bit? Is he going to play more shooting guard? Is James Harden going to initiate the offense more? So many questions. I think in the end, their egos are going to get in the way. I'll give it like a year and a half of working, because it's going to be fresh at the start. And yes, like Benson said, you had to do this trade if you're Houston. You know, he's 4 years younger than Chris Paul. He's a better player than Chris Paul right now. And everyone knows I hate D'Antoni with a passion. I hope he blows out another knee.
Jesus.
But I just think he's not the type of coach that can reel these two in, or a guy like Westbrook in. So they're my main concerns. But they had to do the trade. We'll see how it turns out. I keep coming back to the thought, you know, will Westbrook, you know, be able to change the way he plays, play a different role? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But,
There's going to be some
ifs.
Sorry, Vince. Okay.
A lot of ifs. You interrupt us, Maximus.
I just think there's going to be some crazy moments. Like, what's Westbrook going to be doing when Harden's up the top of the key, pounding the ball on the fucking ground? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just going to be standing. Like, he's just going to be standing. Yeah, it's crazy. I just feel
he's not a great shooter. Like from three, he's actually not a great shooter.
Well, they're both pretty high turnover. I mean, we've talked about Westbrook ad nauseum about his approach and what he needed to do in OKC, and I'm actually just like, I think OKC should just be thanking, you know, Kawhi Leonard. Sorry, OKC. I think Houston rather should be thanking Kawhi Leonard for the get out of jail free card, because if Kawhi doesn't bring Paul George in, you know, Paul George doesn't approach Sam Presti and go, I want out, you know, trade me, I want to go to the Clippers, and they bring that massive haul. Like, who takes that Chris Paul deal? Do you know what I mean? Like, Houston, at least now, like you said, Stu, you know, like they have gotten better. Like, they have literally gotten a bit better. You know, whether it's going to work, whether it's going to gel, that's a different thing. But, I mean, if that doesn't go down, I mean, we touched on it earlier, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, where it's like, what do Houston do? What do Houston do with Chris Paul and James Harden, who clearly hate each other's fucking guts? Like, it's clearly not working.
And they'd had and they'd upset Clint Capella. They'd had a nothing off season, and then they went from 0 to 100. They'd done nothing.
And what's like, if Westbrook comes in with the same OKC attitude, you know, it's like, does he think that? What's he going to do? Like, what's he going to do? Clint Capella, leave those rebounds for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, Capella's already like pissed off because he doesn't feel like valued in Houston. Like, I don't know. I just feel like Houston, although they've gotten better, I think there's going to be some major chemistry issues that they need to fix this season. Hopefully, a training camp. I mean, at least this deal went down now, you know, so they get all these kinks kind of out of the year. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, we say this, they're going to be fucking good next year. Like, they're going to be scary good at times on the court.
Oh, and this is the year. Like, this is the year to do it, right? Like, you
no Golden State in the way.
Obviously, yeah. Daryl Morey doesn't want to waste Harden's time. He is absolutely hell-bent on getting a championship ring to prove and validate that his analytics system works, right?
Yeah.
You know, he's the guy who's like, he's the spreadsheet guy. He's the analytics guy. He doesn't watch basketball. He watches stat sheets, box scores, and who works with who. He's getting to the point now where everyone's going to go, you know what, dude? It doesn't actually translate to wins on the court. He needs to validate everything that he's done. And the window's wide open. And, you know, the Lakers have to prove themselves. The Clippers have to prove themselves. And these guys, you know, they're effectively, you know, a couple of games away from 2 NBA finals over 2 consecutive years, and they just got better.
Yeah. My thing is also, you know, let's look at the snapshot that we got last year. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't as if Westbrook was doing it by himself either in OKC. Like, you know, Paul George had a legit case, you know, runner-up at MVP talks, you know, from his performance last year. So it's not as if, like, there's this huge, like, I don't know, like, it's that thing with Golden State. They're the one team that could shoot you out of games. They're not that team this year, so this is your pass. So they've still got to grind it out. But do they have enough to beat these teams in the West now that have improved? You know, this offseason. You know, we talked about Lakers. We've talked about the Clippers now. You know, like, teams have gotten better. Utah even, like, throw them in the mix in here. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel it's a little... it's not a sideways move. Westbrook's durable. Do you know what I mean? You don't have an aging point guard who is still good, still productive, but tends to fall apart come playoff time. So there is that element to this, but I mean, there is a case for the whole there is only one ball.
Yeah. I think they'll work it out, man.
They're going to be dangerous and they're going to be fun to watch, but I just feel like when it comes to crunch time, how much did they work out? How many kinks did they iron out? Because Westbrook, again, he can't do what he did in OKC. It's not his team for starters, and they're not going to win winning basketball that way.
Well, as they say, time will tell.
Indeed. What the ultimate cop-out phrase. Look, let's jump into the OKC side of this because it's quite interesting. Like, I definitely hear people's arguments online about, look, I know it all echoes off of Stephen A. Smith, so take that with a grain of salt. But, Sam Presti is, did a fantastic job in this, but there is something to be said for the stars who have now walked away.
This is true. You can't
deny it, right?
You can say Sam Presti's doing all right on the receiving end of this, but this is a guy who drafted and/or traded for, or had tenure with Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, Jeff Green. Like these are guys that.
Oladipo.
Yeah, Victor Oladipo. Yeah. It's just I don't know.
I mean, I'm not worried about him converting these picks, and the picks are. I mean, how many picks did you say, Stu?
15.
15 first rounders.
Yeah, in the next 5 drafts. Next 6 drafts. It's insane. It's unprecedented. The guys have checked and statisticians have looked at it. No team has had a 5-year forecast like OKC does.
I mean, it's quite the haul. So, like, the future does look quite good for them. I like the fact that that being said, I like that they definitely need to fix whatever's going wrong with the reason why these stars are leaving. I mean, I think some element of that is, trading away these young stars that, obviously Oladipo being a prime example, traded from OKC, blew up in Indiana. Half of that is the element of trying to put a team that works around Westbrook at that current time. So he definitely, like, the talent and the drafting doesn't seem to be an issue for them. It's keeping there. Can they get the right pieces? Like, can they get that right unit? I mean, they've got to do something with Chris Paul. I know that there's talk, like, what do you do with that? What do you do with that fucking contract?
He's playing this season.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You got to give Shai the keys.
Somebody will work out come trade deadline that they need him.
Vince, you got some first rounders? So rattle off some of those first rounders.
He's gone to the toilet. He didn't think we'd know.
I may have put him to sleep. Talk.
Oh, he's doing it back to you. He's about to sound the alarm.
Oh. Okay, we'll come back to Vince. I think he's...
No, you peanut. I said I was going to the toilet. It'll be something like that. You know it.
Before all this went down, they were desperate to get under the cap, and they made Steven Adams available. I'm wondering, does Adams now become, the anchor in that team? Does this now become Steven Adams' team? Which I'd be super interested to see, and to see how he responds and how he plays this season, in an OKC uniform, knowing that he's kind of the man there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Do they have their eye on somebody? Is there somebody coming up in free agency next year that they've got their eyes on? It is really interesting. What I do know is, though, that they have a really good fan base, and they do pack out their arena, and those guys love they love their team, they love their basketball, and I hope they're able to put a decent product out on the floor for the OKC fans. They genuinely they love their basketball, and maybe it's just time to start it clean again. Maybe they use some of their picks to get some mature talent. Maybe they can go get somebody coming off a rookie deal next season, or somebody going to get their first big contract on year 5, and they can swing that and some picks and get some product out on the floor.
I'm going to be watching them this year because I don't know. You know who else loves their fans, Stu?
Do tell.
You know what city loves their fans as well? Seattle.
Keep going.
Seattle. I'm sorry, too soon.
Oh, man. The day that flashes up on my mobile phone that Adam Silver has announced, oh, man. That is going to be a joyous day. When Seattle get a basketball team back.
So Creaky Chair Vince might be back.
It's hard to sneak back into the conversation with a creaky chair like that, Vince.
If you, it was actually my desk, but
You're sitting on your desk.
Actually,
How are your pizza pockets hot or what? How's your Milo?
if you guys would actually check your messages, I actually said, be right back, but fuck me right, don't check your messages.
Oh, shit, he did too.
No time. We're analysing trades and talking ball. What are you talking about? Ducking off to the kitchen.
Okay, look.
Make your porridge.
Look, I understand you're a professional. You know, you've been on TV. You know, Sunrise, The Block. Wayne.
What the hell?
You should be checking your phone.
Who's running this show, mate? Amateur hour.
I had my phone upside down so it wouldn't distract me while we record, Vince. I'll have you know.
He has his phone upside down.
Son of a...
So you can't see the screen. Wow.
Oh.
I turn my phone upside down so I don't get any notifications.
Well, look, let's jump back to OKC because you missed the whole fucking conversation. We've already rattled on about, what do they do?
Talking? I didn't miss much, did I?
Well, I suppose not.
No.
Your thoughts on OKC, Vince? Let's.
They're in strife, mate.
Where were you when we needed you?
Presty, he's made some blunders, man.
Do tell.
Have a look. Well, he traded the wrong guy out, first of all. He traded Harden out when he should have traded Ibaka. We said that at the time. And he only got back Kevin Martin was serviceable, but Kevin Martin for Harden and a few other pieces that were thrown in. He got rid of...
Kevin Martin. I forgot about that.
He got rid of Oladipo when... did he not know that Oladipo was working out Harden that offseason?
That kind of era, I mean, that's him trying to build that team around Westbrook, right? Because KD had already bounced. So, and this...
Yeah, playing Harden for Kevin Martin.
Well, I mean, you can argue that, but he's gotten, value for picks. Like, they know how to bring in talent. Whether they've letting it go...
Tell me who they've brought in.
Well, I mean, as far as, converting picks and stuff like that, I'm saying. They've drafted well. I mean, yes, Oladipo, they gave up probably a bit too early, but it didn't fit at the time with Westbrook because, as we touched on before, he wasn't willing to change his game or whatnot.
Well, he's got to really nail these picks that he's got because if not, he's gone. He has to, I'm talking really hit the nail on the head with all these picks.
Yeah. 15, man. 15.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to nail 15 out of 15, but he's got to make a good hit on the percentage, I don't know what it is, 75, 80%. He's got to get some good pieces in with all these.
So who's their starters for next year?
I know Adams will be.
So, Steven Adams at the centre, traded Grant away, so he's gone.
Another first rounder coming in for him. They've got Schroeder and SGA at the guards.
Chris Paul.
Who's at the full? Chris Paul. Who's at the forwards?
Gallo. The
Gallo.
Rooster.
The Rooster. My countryman. Still love him.
Trying to find someone else.
Mike Muscala.
Muscala.
Your mate.
Yeah. Tell you what, mate. Mike Muscala.
Yeah, I just think it's funny, man, because we look at, if this was any other team, I suppose we'd be going, man, future looks bright. They've got all these picks, coming in. But because what direction do you go? Are they rebuilding on the fly? Or is this total rebuild? Is this total everyone's available?
I think Adams is available, but he's got a contract that's so hard to move. Yeah. His contract is terrible. I mean, I like him, I'd have him, but not at that kind of money.
Maybe they're going to tank and draft LaMelo.
Don't wish that on him.
I can see that. There's Terrence Ferguson. They got Donuts Felton.
Police Chief Wiggum.
you're in trouble.
Well, look, a little bit quiet on the NBA front after everything that's gone down the past few months. A little bit of a breather. Should we jump into some questions?
I think we should.
Well, every week we hit the Facebook page. Jesus Christ, I've forgotten what I was going to say. Sorry, mid-cough.
Lung transplant, am I right?
Probably.
Are you a closet smoker or something?
No, shut up.
Man, if I'm Sydney's second richest man, you must be Sydney's second sickest human.
I reckon he smokes.
Oh, boy.
Do you hit the weed?
No, do not hit the weed.
You like the ganja? You like the doobie?
Oh, boy.
Marijuana?
It's medicinal. He's got glaucoma.
He does.
Every week we hit the Facebook page and ask you guys what teams or topics you'd like to hear about, and this week we have a handful, guys. Whew. You are a tough crowd tonight, Vince Germano.
Sorry. I'm punchy. Come on, I'm punchy.
Our first question comes from Nick's faithful, courtside faithful, Philip Brown. He wants to know our opinion on players playing in the World Championships. I'll see if I can indulge in this a little bit more. I think maybe the focus is to change from really wanting to play for your country to your professional team first, and if all the cards fall the right way, then play for your country. He goes on to talk about the situation where Rich Paul has said to both AD and Ben Simmons that they should not play and think about the future. Yeah, but he feels a little bit like there's going to be a massive lack of talent, obviously, for, you know, we've got the upcoming US-Australia game on home soil. And he's just a bit disappointed in Ben Simmons. Some thoughts, guys?
I am too a little disappointed in, actually a lot disappointed in Ben Simmons, but I think he is going to play against the Americans when they come out. I'm pretty sure he is. And Ben Simmons has committed to playing in the Olympics, so as soon as he did that, he won me back. But there's still going to be plenty of talent in the World Championships. I mean, don't stress, Phil. I mean, there's no talent on the Knicks apart from Randall, but there's plenty of talent on the US team.
Stu, some thoughts?
Yikes. Look, I get it. There's a lot of money at stake. I'm sure it's not just Rich Paul. I'm sure there is pressure from these teams who are publicly coming out and saying, no, we support our players playing in international play. And then when the camera switches off, they go like, fuck, we do, because we've just signed them up to money that we're liable for and a product that we want to put out to our team. So I get there's these external pressures, but honestly, like, you look, I'm talking to my guys at basketball this week, like, you look back, Michael Jordan played in Barcelona, you know, like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, like these guys, like, there's got to be pride in playing for your country, and I just think if you got that opportunity, you'd do it. You never know how long you're going to play basketball for, when it's going to be taken away from you, and opportunities like that are rare as, honestly, rocking horse shit. You take it, and I don't know, a little bit disappointed.
My initial thought was when Simmons pulled out is that, man, you better come back with a fucking jump shot this year. Like, you're like, if you don't have a jump shot, this was all for nothing, and screw you, buddy. But, yeah.
I got a question for you guys.
Oh.
If you were a top-line Aussie NBA player,
yeah,
I can tell you if it was me, there'd be nothing my agent could ever say to me to stop me from playing for Australia.
Same.
Had you played previously before your international, you know, before NBA's court time though, or? Because Simmons, I mean, he's played for Australia before, you know, like, so.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, just play.
Yeah.
Should be playing. Thon Maker's still suspended, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he beat the shit out of those Filipinos.
No, he didn't beat shit. He couldn't even connect on anything.
He
would have.
Big ass feet. I'm surprised they didn't get anything. Jesus. Our next question comes from David Pendevsky. He wants to know LeBron will average ... and play ... games this upcoming season.
Ooh, tough one.
Good Laker question.
I'm going to say 24, 25 a game.
Ooh. How many assists?
AD's there, so he's going to probably, you know, even take a bit away from LeBron. How many assists? 8.
Is he playing the point still, or are we giving that to Rondo?
He won't be. Well, he's going to be running the show. He's not going to be necessarily point guard, but he'll be running the show. He's running the show. What else? About 70 games, I'll tip.
Regular season, or is that including playoffs?
Regular, you dick.
Just clarifying. Just want clarification, okay? Stu, what's your thought?
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say 25, 9, and 9.
Wow, that's a big year.
I'll go 24, 8, and 8.
So
Jesus.
I'm gonna say the 9.
Well, Vince fell off the table. He's still there?
My pocket has not cooled down.
Wait, I'm being a good host and checking my phone, apparently. Okay, continue, Stu.
Okay, check your phone.
What was that?
Secret notes. What happened?
What was that?
Did you fall off the table?
Thought the NBN finally switched on in Melbourne.
The NBN exploded. They just plugged it in.
Oh, boy. All right, Stu.
I think the 9 will err on like a 9.4. So it'll be a career high in assists. That's what I'm calling for this season. A career high in assists for LeBron James in what, season 17? Yeah, I think he'll drop a couple of points per game. I just think he'll defer. It's going to be we're going to see a lot of a lot of AD to LeBron and vice versa. But yeah, in terms of how many games, he'll play more than 73.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
More than 73.
Wow. Did I hear correctly the other day that he's the last, maybe the last guy from his draft class?
Oh, no. Could it be? No. Really? Melo will be back.
All right, take Melo. Let's take him out of the equation because you're not in the league technically anyway. Is he the last guy from his draft class?
I think he is.
I think that's a pretty... Because when I heard that, I was like, oh, yeah, he is getting on. You know, the miles are starting to add up now. You know, other guys have...
Yeah. You're starting to sound like Bill Simmons.
I'm just saying, I thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, you know, in saying that, obviously, he's a freak athlete. Like, so freak athletes do freak things.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Our final question comes from our other diehard Knicks fan that were on the Courtside Facebook page. He says, with most of the free agent movement settled, what team will have the biggest wins differential from last season? I hope this will be leading to a loaded Knicks answer.
Was that Mr. Steve Rodgick from Rodgick and Rodgick?
It was, indeed. Who's going to have the biggest wins differential?
It's actually a bit of a tough question, me. Because if Durant was fit and healthy...
But Brooklyn still made playoffs last year, you know, it's not as if they're...
Yeah, but now they've got the big...
New Orleans?
Kyrie moving cancer.
Oh, tough one. Tough question, Steve.
Yeah, if everything goes right for New Orleans, they might win a few games. Lakers definitely, they'll win 50 on. Same with the Clips. Same with the Clips, so they're going to win more.
Well, I was thinking maybe Atlanta.
What did we last in 29? Nah.
Depends how their rooks go.
But, you know, another year of essentially that core together. I mean, Trae Young improves, Collins improves. I mean, there's a lot to like there for you. A lot to like. I mean, it mightn't be much, but I think, I mean, they're in the East. What, you reckon they could knock on the doors of an 8th seed?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I do.
So, that's probably my pick. I don't know how confident I'd be in backing that come our season predictions, but as far as
when's Porzingis back?
Ooh.
He should be ready to go. Apparently,
If he's going to be ready to go, I'm going to answer Mr. Rodgick's question and say it'll be the Dallas Mavericks.
Fair call. Another year.
Okay, hang on. They've added Porzingis. Doncic is going to improve.
Yeah.
Doncic is going to get better.
Who else have they added? I know they've added other people, but I just can't think at the moment.
Seth Delon, right? They recently signed. Dwight Powell signed with them. Boban, they got Boban.
Oh, stop it.
Boban.
Give him the championship.
Hand it to him. Hand it to him. Mr. Efficiency, Vince. Mr. Efficiency to you. Yeah, I don't know. You know, still got Tim Hardaway Jr. Can he have a big season? Stu mentioned Seth Curry edition. I don't know. Tough one. Man, is JJ Barrera going to be back this year, or you reckon he's done?
No, he re-signed for another year.
Well, he did his Achilles, didn't he?
He did.
Ouch.
You know who else did his Achilles a few years ago? Mitch Creek.
Kobe Bryant?
Fuck off, Wayne.
Sorry. Oh, you know what? How good was Mitch Creek, Summer League, man? Minnesota need to fucking sign him.
Fuck Mitch Creek, bro. What did I just say?
They need to sign him, right?
They do.
They haven't signed him yet.
They will, if they're smart.
He'll get a gig. Or Brooklyn will bring him back. Someone will pay him.
Dude, he was great in Summer League. Did you have any, actually, look, we've, thanks everyone for the Facebook questions. We've covered all them all.
We didn't really answer Rodgers, though, did we?
We did. Maybe you didn't. Vince said Dallas.
Look, I've got to be honest. It's too tough for me. I can't pick one. I know the Knicks are going to win less games.
Ooh.
No, they are not.
No, they're better.
Dude, it's the Knicks. Come on.
They're better,
man. You can see how well Roger does in the courtroom with questions like this, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Just stumping the...
It was the one-arm man, I tell you, the one-arm man. RJ, man. RJ was good. I mean, a slow start Summer League, but, man, he was putting in the double-doubles after that. He was quite good. I was impressed how he bounced back. Yes, I'm covering up my bad impersonation.
Yeah, and he was copping so much crap. And again, can we just give these dudes some time? If you can you think RJ Barrett's going to come in and immediately be the franchise guy and drop 20 plus a night? Give it a spell. Give him a couple of years, 2 to 3 years. Knicks fans, I know you're starved, but just give him some time.
Did you guys have any standouts from Summer League? I mean, we touched on the Grizzlies and what they did, but did anyone particularly stand out for you guys?
Taco!
Taco, yeah.
Speaking of tacos, did you see AD went around to LeBron's for Taco Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday!
I tell you, I liked because I only pay attention to the Lakers, clearly. I liked the guy who got ejected, Nick Perkins. Got to sign him.
Oh, that guy, yeah. I didn't watch that game. I just saw that highlight of him throw the headband back at Robinson. Was that a tight game or something, or was it just?
Don't know.
No, I don't think it was.
It's frustration. Okay.
But he can handle the ball. He can shoot a three, finish inside. His rebounds, I like him.
Did we talk about that Jackson Hayes dunk last show?
Oh no, we didn't. Oh my goodness,
that was humongous.
He played awesome.
You just have to take Summer League for what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's totally fool's gold at times, but I mean, you're watching, there's a big reason why, key players aren't playing. Like, there's, even the championship game against Minnesota, I don't think Josh Okogie even played. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's to see the talent and who's going forward with their franchises because based on that talent level and what these kids can do. And that's what you take it for. And, I mean, Jackson Hayes, man, certainly showed potential. Like, you could off the charts, man. Like, for his size and his athletic ability is super scary. And I think, like we touched on the draft shows, Stu, for a guy who, only recently picked up the ball, insane.
Yeah, Fran Fraschilla was saying when he was doing the commentary, he was saying he remembers distinctly going to a workout at Texas and watching him. And he just thought for his size, he was one of the most agile and athletic big men he has ever seen. Whether or not it could translate into I will be a good basketball player, but he said in terms of athleticism and raw ability, he said he'd never seen anything like it. And dude seriously got himself a roster spot. Like it was a great. Honest, I know it can be fool's gold. I get it, but for someone who hasn't been playing basketball that long, he's great. The other one that they've got on the Pels is Alexander Walker.
Oh yeah.
The two guard, man, he's like NBA ready. He's a legit basketball player. Like they're gonna have to get him minutes, man. Like they've got they've got a good little roster down there in New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, just while we round off the show, just a few players that I saw that I enjoyed watching during Summer League play. Obviously, the Grizz guys, I think Clark kind of reminds me of like Amari a little bit, just that Amari game, but obviously not.
Shocking knees.
No, just, I don't know, just his game. Just his game. He's got a solid 3-point shot, block shot. Amari never blocks shots, but hey.
No, I think this kid's got probably a better offensive game.
Yeah. Oh, man. He's got such a good touch. The Naz Reid for Minnesota, man, really like him and really glad Minnesota signed him to a multi-deal. I'm going to give it up to... Who's that? We talked about him briefly on a previous show. The guy who lit it up, I think maybe for Purdue, I want to say, the guard for Boston.
Oh, Carson Edwards.
Man, impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive, man. Hats off. He looked great. He got signed. He actually got a Adidas deal just the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pretty good off the back of Summer League, I reckon. But hey,
that's cool. That's cool.
And look, I said I'm gonna eat a bit of humble pie. I mean, I'm not sure if they're gonna sign him or whatnot, but I particularly remember me saying that Taco Fall that I didn't think his game would translate very well. That he'd be pretty slow and immobile up and down the court. From what I saw in Summer League, man, in short spurts, pretty good.
He's just another Boban.
They've got to sign him.
Exactly, though. That'll get you paid. That'll get you 10 years in the league.
Yeah. I hope they sign him. He deserves to be on a roster. I mean, he's...
Oh,
does he, though?
Yeah, he does. He
does. If Boston don't sign him, honestly, I reckon there's another 10 teams out there that'll pick him up straight away.
They'll take that gamble for sure. I mean, it's worth it. I mean, it's only going to be. It's not going to be long minutes, you know.
No, he's going to give you the 2 minutes at the end of 2 minutes at the end of the first, 2 minutes at the end of the second. He might start your fourth quarter. Honestly, he might get 6-7 minutes a game his first season, but I'd take the gamble. I'd pay.
Well,
mate, he could probably lead the league in blocks in those 6 minutes.
I thought it was a bit funny that Jarrett Allen played Summer League.
Yeah, that was odd.
You know, I mean, I know he got. I don't think he played much after that Detroit game, but you know, he puts up 30 points, 11 boards. It's like, take him out. You don't need. He did enough last year to solidify himself as an NBA player. You don't need to play him. Like,
didn't John Collins do that last year?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So what do we think our favourite outspoken ex-wizard, Gilbert Arenas, said this week that he thinks that Zion should be playing the 2.
Oh, yeah.
Gilbert Arenas should lay off the cocaine and whatever else he's putting into his system.
How dare you? You leave Gil alone.
Nah, he is the biggest fucking joke.
You shut your damn
there
mouth.
right now.
Shut your whole
mouth. It got
mouth.
a lot of traction on Twitter, and it got a lot of people talking about it. And he said that he's just not going to be able to play the power forward in the league.
Well,
he's not laterally quick enough to be a small forward, and he should use his size and his strength, work on his shot, and be the biggest, baddest, hardest 2 that the league has seen in 3 decades.
We talked about it before that, Stu, though. We talked about his size and watching Summer League and just how short he is on that court.
Mm-hmm.
That was before Gil even opened his mouth about that. So there's definitely something to that. I don't know if that actually happens, but I think there's something to that. Dude, Vince, when you watch him, man, you should see how small he is.
Yeah, I saw him.
He can't be a 2.
He's not a 2.
It's got to be 3, right?
But yeah, two words for you. Clarence Weatherspoon. He was like
Larry.
he was like 6'4", 6'5", playing the power forward. Lasted 2 years, but still.
Oh, great point. Great point, Vince. Jesus. The quickest rookie we ever saw, number 1. Jesus.
He was in a dunk contest.
I've never heard him be called Clary before, so I like it.
Jesus.
Just like a bit of Clary.
It was either that or the big spoon.
He had a long career, but yeah, the 2 years of power forward didn't do any.
Very big head. Good. Very big square head.
Yeah, but he was good. Liked a bit of Clary.
Oh, boy. Hey, just before we go, we talked about Houston, talked about former number 1 picks. Anthony Bennett. Getting a lot of looks.
Oh, rapt to see that. Told you he was in good nick, man. I told you, and you poo-pooed it.
He's still only like...
Are you talking to me, you rabid dog, you? God damn! You gave me so much shit for saying that I liked Anthony Bennett when he was with fucking Brooklyn, and that I thought that he'd be alright if he put in the work. And all I heard for fucking 6 months with you and your smart ass mouth online on Facebook every fucking show about how I like Anthony Bennett and how I think he's the next fucking superstar. And now, Vince, now that he's getting his fucking ticket back in the league, now you're fucking claiming him?
Jesus.
Take a fucking walk. Walk it off.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, mate.
You guys will be fighting over Kelly Olynyk in a minute.
Jeez.
Did I not send you a message, private message?
That doesn't make up for 8 months of fucking giving me shit about it. Rather dog.
Mate, that's a Hall of Fame insult.
Oh.
Mate, you're sick 360 days of the year.
Yeah, but I don't one good day and say I'm the healthiest bastard in the world, though, do I?
Watch out! Here it comes.